So as soon as Congress comes back after Labor Day, they have a massive September. They've got to, in a span of 4 weeks, pass a spending bill, raise the debt ceiling, reauthorize flood insurance, reauthorize a children's health insurance program. Oh, and Republican leaders want to move forward on tax reform. Any one of those things could take an entire month in Congress. They've got to do a lot of this by the end of September. Republicans don't have a clear path forward on any of this. That's because they have a really wide ideological party with a lot of different ideas about what should be in a spending bill, whether a debt ceiling should be raised that also cuts spending limits somewhere else. Which means Republicans are going to, even though they control Congress, need Democrats' help to pass a lot of this. Democrats, therefore, have the ability to draw some red lines. One of their red lines: no wall, not a dime for President Trump's border wall.
It's not a negotiation, no wall.
President Trump comes in Phoenix and says, I want the border wall and I don't care if a government shutdown has to happen because of it.
Believe me, if we have to close down our government, we're building that wall.
It looks like both sides are setting themselves up for a standoff between whether you fund the government and include money for a border wall, or whether you fund the government and President Trump takes a hit on one of his key campaign promises that doesn't have any money for the border wall. The debt ceiling is another political landmine for Republicans. They've got to do it by the end of September or the nation could default on its debts. But the Trump administration, like Republicans in Congress, are split about how to raise the debt ceiling. Some of them want to just raise the debt ceiling, that's it, let the nation keep borrowing money to pay its debts.
I urge you to raise the debt limit.
Other Republicans, including in the Trump administration, want to raise the debt ceiling but also cut spending limits elsewhere. That could create a standoff within the Republican Party about how to move forward. So President Trump has two tools to try to get what he wants out of all of this. One is the bully pulpit, what he did at his rally in Phoenix.
You need to represent them on the border, on taxes, on health care, one vote.
The other way Trump can affect change in Congress is just not sign a spending bill that he doesn't approve of. Look, Trump wants a win, legislatively, plain and simple. He hasn't had one yet, 7 months into his administration. And Government 101 says if the president doesn't sign a bill, it doesn't become law. So President Trump doesn't sign a spending bill or a debt ceiling raise, the government could shut down or default on its debts. One way around that is Congress could send some of these bills to the president's desk with a veto-proof majority. That's not out of the realm of possibility. That's how they got the president to sign sanctions against Russia just last month. Another option Republicans have to avoid this, because it would be absolutely disastrous for the party, they control all of Washington, it's very likely they'd get blamed for this, is to get the president to compromise, to say, hey, instead of spending billions of dollars for this border wall, which, by the way, you promised Mexico would pay for, why don't we increase border security? Republicans certainly found that compromise with the president back in April during a spending debate. We don't know if President Trump is willing to compromise again on his beloved border wall.